Ladies and gentlemen of the world, I'm talking global, man. We don't do that in small, man. It's a small thing to a giant. And I've got a giant right here. And of course, you know, it's the big guy. It's the big guy. This is Live and Loud with the Lord. Always gonna pause. Nelson, that is. Yeah. and we've got a great human being, an unbelievable individual, Mr. Adam Lavender, and we're going to get into what he does. We're going to get into what he does. He does some very specific things that I think that are amazing. I met this young man on tour with Stuck Mojo. We had a great time. It was unbelievable. And hey, just want to have a good time and good conversation and talk about what you do and how you do what you do. So I appreciate you, my brother. And let's get it started, man. So,
all right, let's do this.
The first thing I always ask everybody, every guest is, where are you from?
So I'm from this little town south of Macon, Georgia, which is about, I don't know, an hour and a half south of Atlanta. Okay. There's this little town called Gray, Georgia. Matter of fact, if you're driving on the highway and you blink, you're gonna miss it.
Okay.
and that's the way I like it, man. Everybody knows everybody. It's a great place to be. And the reason I'm in my van right now is because the internet is god awful, so I'm on my cell phone. It's that small. We got one stoplight, but God bless it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way, man.
Indeed. Okay, so what is it about being from where you are that you love so much? If you're still down there, what is it about it that you love?
You know, and this is one of the things that I'm sure we'll get into when we toured, you know, around Mojo, our U.S. tour, but when you go to all different kind of places, all over the states, all over the world, all over everything, there's beautiful people, men, women, whatever. There's beautiful places, but there's just something about home. Right. You know, when you get in, the food tastes better, the air smells cleaner. You know, I've got trees and property all around me. Again, It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. It's just home. You know, you can't really describe it, but you can feel it.
Right.
And, you know, not to say there's anything wrong with anywhere else. I'm sure you love where you're at and that's where you need to be. But it's just this place, man. My soul is tied to this place. Soul is tied to this place.
And well, look, that's awesome. That's awesome. So if I was to come there, what would it be that we could do to have a good time?
Man, this is one of those places that it's far enough away from any big city that you can see the stars. And that's one of my favorite things in the world. Look up, see the stars. You know, I've got a little bit of property with some lakes going down here. You can always go fishing. You can just hang out, man. You just take it all in. If you're into something a little bit bigger, like metropolitan city stuff, we got Atlanta, got an hour away. But the good thing is you can leave that madness too. Come on back home. And that's at the grayer years of my life, that's where I'm at right now. When I was younger, it was all about the city. Let's go, let's party. But now, man, nobody moves north to retire. They move south because we slow down here, you know.
100%, man. 100% down.
Yes, sir.
So you said, I just want you to know, you said lakes and stuff. I love to go fishing, so I just want you to know, I hear you clearly.
Come on.
I hear you
clearly.
Come on. That's all I'm going to say is I hear you clearly. All right. So, if I'm not mistaken, you are part of SAG-AFTRA. For those who don't know what that stands for, please educate us and tell us how you are affiliated.
Okay, so it is Screen Actors Guild. AFTRA is, I can't remember the acronym there for AFTRA, but basically it's your commercial actors, your movie, you know, the actors, it's their union, basically. Right. And I got into it actually from doing stunts, from the stunt side of things. And it's there to protect you. You know, the unions get a bad rap and some of them aren't really good, but SAG is there to kind of protect you, to make sure that if you're in a movie, if you're in TV, whatever, they have your best interest in mind.
Gotcha.
Now, getting to be part of SAG is like winning the lottery. You know, they don't just hand it to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do featured acting and stunts and all sort of stuff in a production. Had to fill out paperwork. There's all kind of hoops you have to jump through, but it's an exclusive club, so that's kind of how they're able to warrant the things that they get necessarily, like the pay to be on production. You know,
mm-hmm.
if you're part of SAG, you're guaranteed you're going to get paid a good amount. If you're not, you know, and I was for a long time. I was independent. I wasn't part of SAG.
Right.
I had a movie that I fell off of a roof. I think I was about 20 feet to where I was standing, and I got paid with a sandwich and some soda, and they didn't even have ice for the soda. And that's what it was. I didn't have anybody there to
Wow.
protect me and trying to, and but with SAG, you guaranteed you're gonna have your food, you're gonna have your breaks. If there's something that's not safe, they'll have everything. They'll bring in those safety measures.
Right, right.
Like pads and all that sort of stuff. But again, most of your big actors, they're all part of SAG. You get your health insurance, you can buy into it and that sort of stuff. But again, it's not easy to get into.
Right.
And that's why everybody who's going to be in the movie industry, I'll tell you, you got to aim for that because that's where the money is, honestly.
So you're telling me you're a stunt man like Colt Seavers? Like Colt Seavers stunt man?
I'm the unknown stunt man. that's for sure, man. Now I don't remember how that theme song goes, but yes, sir, that is me. I'm the fall guy.
That is awesome, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's awesome. That's awesome. So your wife is a stunt woman and actor too, correct?
That's that. Yes, sir. That is exactly how I met her. I was part of a stunt team in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And we had people from all walks of life. Big black guy, short black guy, fat white guy, thin white guy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you who the fat white guy was. It might have been me. But just all kind of body types and all kinds of everything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And every so often we would audition for new people. Maybe we need some more women that are brunette and of a certain body type. When you're doing stunt stuff, they don't need somebody looking like me stunt doubling somebody looking like you. Right, I mean, right. It's just not gonna happen. We got to try to get somebody close to the body style.
Indeed.
And so she came to audition to be part of our team, and we run them through the paces, fighting hand to hand, sword fighting, acting, hitting the ground, tumbling, rolling, all that stuff. And that's how I met her because she ended up being accepted as part of our team. I would like to say I had a lot to do with that. It's like, yeah, I got to meet her. Let's bring her on.
Yeah, baby.
And that was 14 years ago.
Oh man, beautiful, man.
So that's
the business fostered a beautiful relationship, man. That's love. That's love.
It did. If nothing else came out of stunt work, I've got a beautiful wife and a best friend out of it too.
Hey,
and
awesome.
A whole lot of back injury. I'll say.
Well, we all could use somebody to rub our backs once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Just to take us back to the other side.
Yeah.
Love. Okay. So, and listen, amazing story, man. I had to ask those questions. I had to. So, how did we meet? We touched on it a little bit. How did we meet? Oh, what do you remember?
All right. So, okay. So, to reel it way back, way back, when I was a young man, not a young man anymore. When I was a young man in Macon, Georgia, there was this powerhouse of a band that would come around called Stuck Mojo.
Right.
And I'd only heard about them. I wasn't even old enough to get into bars, nightclubs, anything like that. I think I was 16. But I had heard about them. My cousin John had their CD, and it was Snapping Necks. And he said, these guys are really good. They're going to be playing. And we kind of finagled away, because I've always had a voice about this deep.
Right.
We finagled a way for me to get on in that club and see this band. And so, I'm there and I'm trying to hide out in the corner so nobody can see me. Bouncers can't throw me out. And of course, Bones pointed at me, Rich and stuff, because I might have had a deep voice, but I didn't look like an old man. And so, I got to be a fan of the band. And then I started coming to more and more shows. I got to become friends with Rich. Actually, I met him at a Renaissance festival. And my man was trying to be undercover, had his hair tucked up under a hat, had his glasses on. I still knew who he was. I called him out.
The man bun going on, yeah.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So I got to be friends with him. And that story will just stretch way out because this is, 10 years in between me ever going to see him and becoming friends with Rich. But then one day he called me. I think, man, I can't even remember. Maybe it was 08, 2008, something like that. But he called me and he said, hey, we need somebody to help, guitar tech, to drive, to be on tour with us. We're doing this US tour. If you can do it, I want you. And I said, you know what? Once in a lifetime opportunity. It's my favorite band. And I believe I had seen you perform, but I don't know that I got to meet you yet at that point.
Okay.
And, I said, you know what? let's do it. I said, let's do it. I put work on hold. I said, I don't care. This might never come again. I can always find another job.
Right.
Luckily, I own the business, so it's easy to find another job. Anyways, I ended up going on tour, and I think it was Mojo, Vendetta, and Hate Fist. Yeah, that was our tour. And I had the Vendetta boys in there, and I got a lesson on proper English the whole tour. We'll just say that. But
My brothers, man.
yes,
Oh my goodness.
man, I love those guys. I miss them. I really do.
Yes, indeed.
I miss all of them, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I was in the van with them, and you guys were in the tour bus van thing we had otherwise. So our time on the road wasn't a lot, but as soon as you get and you set up all the sound equipment, the guitars, all that, you're just hanging around. You got nothing to do.
Right.
So we were able to kind of meet and cut up. I think we did dinner a couple times. You just
Right.
get to be. It's a brotherhood of everybody on tour because you're in this together.
Right.
And I can't remember how many shows we played. It was like 26 shows in 28 days or something crazy like that.
Right,
It was.
right.
Yeah, it was a war, and I'm pretty sure we were all a little tired at the end. But one thing I did get out of that was lifelong friends.
Right.
We don't see each other all the time, but if I saw you today, if you come walking up and knock, on my vehicle right out here, it'd be like we hadn't missed a step.
Exactly. Exactly. It feels that comfortable, man. Indeed. Like, it is love, man. I just remember being in the van. I think we were coming back from St. Louis, headed back down toward Charleston. And we were just in there having conversation, you and I and Sean Delson. And Toad was back there. We were just back there just laughing and clowning.
Man, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Toad, man. Always, always, always. So now let's get into the meat of it.
Oh Lord. All right.
All of it's the meat of it though, because the other things, I don't know if you knew I was going to ask you about those things, but of course, to me, that's super intriguing. Being a stunt man is amazing. You and your wife being, stunt people, jumping out the windows at your house, doing all kinds of things, swimming, jumping out of airplane. Who knows what you're doing? But it's a beautiful thing.
A lot of crazy stuff. I'll tell you that. Looking back on it right now, what the hell was I thinking? That's a lot of that.
All right, love, man. So let's talk about the Lavender Forge. What is it exactly?
Okay, so I've always been, thanks to my father. My father's been one of those like engineer, mechanically inclined kind of guys. So I've always been somebody that's trying to fix things, trying to tinker with things, trying to build stuff. I'm a little too cheap to buy stuff if I can build it. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of my brain. And there's a show on TV, I'm sure you've seen it, where, guys come in, girls too, and they'll be forging knives and axes and all this kind of cool stuff. It's a competition show. And I saw that and I said, you know what? I could probably do that. It looks like a lot of fun. Let's give it a shot. I can make everything out there. Let's do it.
Right.
So I sat down and I made a forge and I, of course, had hammers and every stuff. The kind of work I do for a full-time living. I got all kinds of tools. So I made some stuff and I got a piece of steel. I kind of hit on it, made a knife. That thing's god awful. I still have it as a memory of where I came from. Yeah. And if you looked at it, you say, "What's this? Come on, man. That thing needs to go in the bottom of that lake." So I said, No. I got to remember where I came from. It's like listening to your old music, the first song you ever wrote.
Yes, sir.
You were proud of it. And now you're embarrassed. You're trying to tuck that thing under the carpet. But it's one of those things. Like I did it. I didn't want to spend a lot of money into the hobby. Doing the forging thing, because I've liked building stuff. And to me, something about getting a piece of steel 2,000 degrees and taking a hammer and beating it and forging it. Like we all want to be like Conan wielding this big sword,
Right.
Or we all want to be a knife fighter looking cool. So that was one of those things, doing that, making that, and then being able to have a finished product, however pretty it was, or just something that kind of hit a desire that I had that I didn't know I had, to create.
Right.
Because I'm not artistic. I can't draw anything. If I draw or if I paint, you think my little nephew did it.
Right.
And let me tell you, he's better than I am. So, but to be able to create something, to look at it and say, you know what, I made this. I can do it better. So now, I'm forging more stuff. I'm trying to get, and it's the way everything in life works. Your first one's not going to be good. Your second one's going to be a little bit better, and then there and there and there. So, and my wife got interested in it too. Now she doesn't do as much of the forging,
Mm-hmm.
but we always say with our knives, we do more than just knives. We do mostly knives. If it looks beautiful, she did it. If it
Right.
looks like razor sharp and deadly, that's probably me.
Ah.
Because no, that's just how it goes. Like I'll do a lot of that. I find more joy in forging. She finds more joy in finishing everything, doing the beautiful handles and that sort of stuff.
Teamwork.
And we just kept, yeah, teamwork. That's why it's the Lavenders Forge, because there's
Right.
two of us. If
Yeah.
it was just me, I don't know, it'd be Big Daddy's Forge or something.
Right,
I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, well, you already got that one covered, man. When you start making knives, Big Daddy's Forge, there you go. But it's one of those kind of things. Like we developed kind of a style.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of chef's knives. We've done some charity work with Disney, and got to meet some of the chefs that way, and they'll buy knives from us. Or same with some chefs from Universal Studios. And so we'll deal with that, and we've just kind of grown our business bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It started off as a hobby, and I think if you get a hobby, if you can find a way to make that hobby pay for itself, I think you're okay.
Right.
And that's kind of what we've done. And then as we started getting a little better,
mm-hmm.
okay, maybe we can sell our products. Maybe we can sell them. The first ones, they didn't look good, so we gave them away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're getting a little better, so we're selling a little bit.
Right.
And all the tools to make this stuff, all the parts, the belts, the everything it's expensive. I mean,
mm-hmm.
It really is. But that's why if you get a handmade knife, it'll be a couple $100. You can go to Walmart and get some for $1.
Right.
And use it once or twice, and now it won't cut paper.
Right. Indeed.
And I think that's something people need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Handmade products, they cost a little more, but you're also, you're buying it from a person, not this large corporation that doesn't care. And you're also buying a piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I look at it, and that's kind of the approach that we're functional art. I think is basically what we try to do at the Lavenders Forge, and so readjust here. So it's something we've been doing for years. We've been getting better. I've been taking classes with master bladesmiths, trying to pick up on some of their knowledge, and just trying to be a sponge to every bit of knowledge around me. Every kind of technique, every kind of everything. Because let's face it, man, when the apocalypse comes, you're going to need people that can take a piece of steel and make a knife. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make sure that I'm safe. I can cook and I can make a knife. Y'all are going to need me. Don't cut me out for hamburger meat or nothing. But it's become a passion, as I've gotten older, I can't do the stunt work as much because the pain at 42 is the same as it was at 22. But the recovery is a whole lot longer.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
See, there you go. That's the thing about getting old. We can still do it.
Yes, sir.
But we're gonna have to go lay down when we're done. Just saying. But I've been able to take that energy and that focus that we had, and kind of move it over into doing the blacksmithing thing and the bladesmithing thing, and it's been fun, and we've been getting better with it. So. And we still have to make a Lord Nelson knife too.
Yeah,
we'll make it to you. We'll send it to you.
And listen, it's love, man. I'm glad you said that because and you have touched on a lot of the things I'm going to ask with these questions, but I'm still going to go through them because
hey,
no, it's all love. That was great, just right there. That was super great. So what you guys create is artistically beautiful cutlery, right? Can I call it cutlery? Is that what it is?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So are they more to be looked at and marveled? Or can they also be used to slice and dice? You already kind of answered that.
Yeah. Well. So here's the thing. To me, I don't ever want to create something to give to somebody they don't use, or sell to somebody they don't use. Now, if you think it's museum quality or whatever, you can put it behind glass case. That's great. But that's not what we're trying to do. I mean, there's some knife makers out there. Like there's one particular guy. He makes knives and swords. He'll sell them for $60,000-$70,000.
Right.
And they look amazing. And you don't want air to touch those things. They're so gorgeous, gold inlaid, whatever. I couldn't sleep at night knowing I had a $70,000 blade in there that one scratch and now it's ruined. Right. It's just no. Now, we obviously don't sell anything that expensive, but this guy's also taken 8 or 9 months on this one piece.
So, right.
Yeah. But whatever we use, I want you to take it. Like if I make you a Lord Nelson chef's knife, which is still in the works,
Yes, sir.
I want you to take it out. I want you to look at it. I want you to be able to use it, clean it off, put it up, take it back out, look at it, be like, man, this thing is great.
Right.
And that's what I want. You know, it'd be like somebody buying a guitar and never playing it.
Got you.
What's the point? You know,
Right.
I mean, you might as well take a picture of a guitar and hang it on the wall because that's what it's doing for you.
That's what it's doing. Right.
Same thing with this knife.
Yeah. So you're into it being functional also. Okay, that's love. So,
Yeah.
So now, you know, with me watching always, and you know, I'm going out there and watch you do your thing. You're out there doing your thing. You and your wife. So the handles are always of an exquisite material. How do you choose what stone or other material to use for the handles?
So you see how there's kind of a color palette, and they all
beautiful,
right? Every single one of those is created by my wife. She's not taking something and making it. She's making the material and then making the handles. And she's, you know, we're gluing it on there, and then she's shaping it up. She's polishing it.
Oh, man.
Now we can do, you know, certain kind of color combos and certain kind, but organically, we let it go where it wants to go. You know, mixing the different colors and the different sort of like epoxy resin thing. She can tell you way better than I could exactly her process, but she probably don't want to tell everybody her process. It's very secret.
Got you.
But yeah, she's making everything. Now, if we do something like wood handle or whatever, you know, a lot of people might like that. That's, you know, we'll just find the prettiest piece we can. We'll stabilize it so that it's, you know, kind of held up against the elements, against moisture, that sort of stuff. Yeah, nobody wants a knife that you're going to sit down, it's going to get full of water and just bust apart. But all the material, man, my wife she's creating it. And, you know, a lot of times you just kind of let it speak to you. You look at this and, okay, here's a yellow and blue kind of swirl, got some greens in there. Well, let me look at this knife, kind of hold them up. Do they speak to you? You know, you hear like Michelangelo would say that the marble spoke to him when he was going to kind of chisel out, you know, one of the statues. Yeah, it's that same kind of way too. You know, you look at it, this is going to really be something special.
Indeed.
And you kind of choose, and sometimes people will choose like, I want red and blue, or I want black, or I want, you know, something with this kind of color, and we'll go there. Other times they just say, surprise me.
Right.
And, you know, the handle material will look a certain way. And then as you start shaping it and you start contouring and getting the highs and lows, because your hands aren't flat, you know, there's grips and contours. It starts changing the way it looks. And she does a great job of that kind of stuff. Like I can't do it. You know, I don't have the artist's touch, but yeah. Long story short, she makes everything. She'll choose, you know, what's speaking to her today, and then she'll create it, and there we go.
Definitely, they're beautiful. Definitely, she's doing a great job. I applaud her most definitely. So, what are the different styles you guys create, and is everything custom?
So, to a degree, we do custom, and you know, like we'll do different French style chef's knives or Japanese style. Like we've done kukri knives, which are, I don't know if you see much of those. They're kind of curved over and they're meant for, you know, they're kind of top heavy, meant for slice stuff. Made a couple swords. It's kind of, you know, we try not to limit ourselves to a little bit, but we also try not to do everything under the sun.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of other makers out there that they'll do one specific style of knife and they've mastered it. And, you know, the way I've been in my entire life is, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. I kind of want to be able to do that with the knife stuff.
Right.
Most of our work is chef's knives, but, you know, we kind of do whatever the customer might want.
Gotcha.
And sometimes we'll create stuff like, hey, I feel like making an English style chef's knife or something, and we'll hammer it out, we'll finish it up, and somebody wants it, hey, you can buy it, here it is. The problem I found with a lot of custom work, and there's people that make a lot of money off of it, but if you get too minute with all the details, if you screw up one thing, you've screwed up your whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all this handle it and right, that's not what I wanted. Now you got to redo the whole thing. Try to avoid that a little bit. You know, it's just easier if you pick your style and you say, here's the things that I do, choose what you like. And if they like you, you know, they're not necessarily investing just in your knife or your product. They're investing in you.
Yes, sir.
Like, this is a Lavenders forged knife. This is their style. I wanted a handle that was blue. Boom, there you go. And they like our style, and that's what they'll get. So to answer your question, we kind of do like custom within reason.
Okay.
Like, pick this kind of style, pick these kind of handles. There you go.
Mhm.
And we also stay away from trademark. Last thing I want is lawyers beating me down. Like, I'm not going to have a Mickey Mouse blade with Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney all over it or whatever. They got about 6,000 lawyers and I got nothing. So,
I understand. No, I understand. I understand. No, I understand. No, great answer. Great answer. So, when creating the pieces, do you just freestyle, or do you have a template or an idea in mind?
So, we always start off with an idea.
Mhm.
Now, the one thing about forging, I've got this, I built my forge. It'll get about 2,300 degrees or something, just real hot.
Mhm.
So I can throw multiple pieces in there. I'm working on one, take it out. While it's warming up, I'm working on another.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll have just a bar of steel and I'm just hammering on it, and whatever I feel, whatever starts coming out, that's where I'm going to go. But for the most part, we'll have, like if we've done a knife and we've really liked it, before we put a handle on it, we'll trace out a template and be like, I like this style. It looks good. And I'll profile or I'll hammer out something that looks similar, take it over to the grinder, kind of match that profile. This looks really good.
Mhm.
Other times it's just let it go, however it wants to go. But if we're doing like, chef's knives of a whatever style, we're gonna go by that style. It's tried, it's true, it's proven. If somebody wants something a little different, we can work with it. But if we're offering something to you,
Mhm.
here's the different styles that we do. I have templates to make sure I can kind of quality control. It's going to be big enough. You're not going to be slamming your hands on the cutting board when you're trying to cut, that sort of stuff. I mean, some people it works good for. Other people, they're holding a knife like this and they're trying to cut, and you're busting your knuckles on the cutting board. We've had that happen, believe it or not.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So love. So now,
Yeah, right.
what piece are you most proud of that you guys have created? Is there one that
Oh
you're like,
man,
man, this is just woof?
we have had. So, are you familiar with what's called Damascus? Damascus steel.
No.
Um, for those that aren't familiar, so you'll take a high carbon steel, you'll take a nickel steel, and you'll layer them a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
You'll heat them up, you'll forge weld them together, so they're getting so hot they're almost kind of liquids, so that you're hammering them together and they stick.
Okay.
And then you start, stacking them, cutting them, restacking them, twisting them, whatever. It just makes unique patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And functionally, it's no different than a regular piece of steel. It's actually probably not as strong,
Mm-hmm.
but it's artistic.
Okay.
And you can find some on our Instagram page. It's called Damascus. And if you look it up, man, that's a kind of art in and of itself. So you'll have people that'll take layers of steel and they'll make a million layers. So they'll make 256 layers. And the more you work it, the more it kind of organically grows.
Okay.
It kind of interweaves itself. And then once you clean it up, the steel that has a lot of nickel is very shiny. And then once you etch it, the steel that doesn't is very just rich and black. And you can create all these unique patterns.
Right.
Well, we've started doing a lot more of that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's literally, now those are more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they're more expensive is for me to make the Damascus steel to start hammering a knife, I'll spend a day
Right.
or more hammering, cutting, stacking, cleaning over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got, 10 layers of steel, you cut it, you stack it, now you've got 20. You cut it, you stack it, now you got 40, and so on and so forth. So it takes a long time.
Gotcha.
But you can do that, and then you can twist it, or then you can kind of like cut divots in it and crush it again. You make all these just unique patterns. It's endless.
Mm-hmm.
You can do anything you want. And I haven't posted it yet, but we've got one knife, and I'll try to have it up here soon so that we can show you. It's, I think, around 500 layers of Damascus steel, and it's just this like, almost looks like there's wolf fangs kind of forged into it. The way the steel goes up and down, it just looks beautiful. I'm trying to pick the perfect handle to match it, because we got the steel, it's cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of all these handles is going to fit it? What's going to just make it pop?
Yeah.
And so we'll have that one up soon, and that one right now is it's the pinnacle of what we've done. But it is, man. It really is. But also, it took, I think, probably about 3 days of just forging, hammering, cutting, stacking, twisting over and over and over again. And that's why when you go to get those kind of knives, they're ridiculously expensive. It's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of steel. It's a whole lot of sweat equity and blood, plenty of blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
Trust me, and bad words. But I think, to be honest with you, man, up into this knife, anyone that I've competed with on, I did a TV show where I had to take a knife and go try to run through this obstacle course cutting stuff. I was really proud of that one because I had just started and I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know anything about, grain structure from metal. I didn't know anything about proper heat treating. And I still cut through rocks, through ropes, through a big block, like a 2 foot square block of ice, all kinds of stuff, just running through with this knife. And at the end of it, not an ounce of damage.
Really?
So I did it right. Like I screwed up and got something right. And I still have that thing. It's still sharp, and I'm like, I didn't win the competition. Spoiler alert. But, I've still got that thing. And I think that's one of my favorite because I was able to take something and go compete on national TV. And walked away. The only reason I didn't win was because of me. It's because something I did.
Okay.
The blade that I spent a ton of time forging, man, that thing is still fine, still good. So that's kind of like that's a little, that's a medal of honor I can wear.
That's a medal of honor.
Something I created, held up,
Medal of honor. I like that. I definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
And actually, I cut myself with that knife too. I had a huge scar on the back of my arms.
Really?
So I will forever remember that too.
It left you a beauty mark, man. It's good. It's good. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, how satisfying is it to work with your better half?
I know a lot of people who are married and they work separate jobs. They don't hang out. They come home, they eat dinner, they go to sleep. And they might call themselves a happy marriage. No. Like that's a marriage. My wife and I, we do everything together, and it's the way I think it should be. Like I said, your best friend and your lover. If we have a disagreement, it's more or less on what to have for dinner, and it's kind of friendly. There's not like there's no big fights. There's no anything. Now we might not see eye to eye on some stuff, and we're both alpha personalities, so we're butting heads, but we always, come through it. There's never any bad blood between the two of us. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite.
Beautiful.
Best friend is great to work, together with her. We kind of gel as a team, and but again, we're best friends, and I think that's something that should be in a proper relationship. You should be able to get along with the person you're with,
Indeed.
and it works out well. I don't need time away from her. As a matter of fact, I don't like time away from her. I know so many guys and so many girls that are ready for the guys' weekend or the girls' weekend. Get away from your significant other. Nah, man. Nah, I'm not about that life. She's not either. Like she comes along with everything. And it's good, man. It's good.
You guys enjoy each other's company, man, and that's a lot. That's a great thing, and that's what marriage is supposed to be. And
right.
So many other things that get in the way of. I always say that marriage is a whip; it's a work in progress. But just to hear what you're saying though is that because there are people that really take marriage and they enjoy what it is to be married, the meaning of marriage.
Yes.
So hey man, that's a lovely thing, man. I like that, man. Listen, we might have to change this whole show to something else. I love it.
Hey, I'm like a river. Wherever we're going, I'm going.
That's love, man. I thank you for that. That was beautiful right there. So, what is your dream creation?
My dream creation. So, and now how far are we limiting this? Because
something that you want to create that is your dream that you like. I want to someday do this. I want to make a castle that looks like a forge. It looks like a whatever it is, whatever you want to do. What is your dream?
Man, so I've always had kind of tossing around in my head. I love music. I love playing guitar. I'm not as good as the people you've been with, but at the same time, those guys were my heroes. So they've been doing it probably as long as I've been around.
Gotcha.
But in music, I've always thought that I would like to bring the knife making world and the music world a little bit together. So, one of the things I've started doing, just as a quick aside, when you make your Damascus and you'll always have a little bit that you cut off the ends and you just can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started taking that little section, hammering it out, and making guitar picks. So Damascus
Mm.
guitar picks, either play
Okay.
with it or like drill a hole in it, make like a necklace or something.
Right.
I'm gonna try to send some out to my guitar heroes.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, here you go. This is kind of cool. It looks unique. I'll try to send you some pictures of them or something. But
Yeah.
I've always wanted to make like a knife, a dagger, or something. Whether it be a chef's knife, whether it be like a wall hanging sword, or something that I could incorporate. Like guitar frets kind of etched into it,
Okay.
or some musical notes, or like guitar string wrapped around the handle, so that
Mm-hmm.
that's what the handle is. This guitar string.
Right.
Or I've seen people make Damascus out of melting down a bunch of guitar strings and kind of making the steel out. I've wanted to kind of, and now that one, don't use it hanging on the wall and
Right. I
look
was
at
about
it.
to say, yeah, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, please don't use that
Right,
one. Don't go
right.
cut the onions with that one.
Right.
But that's been something that's I'm working on it, and it's kind of like writing your novel. You got to write it 30 different times before you put out that final draft.
Gotcha.
Well, I've been kind of messing around trying to get, trying to get it set up, and I'm going to do something, and I'll either auction it off or I'll give it to somebody, or I'm not going to sell it. I'm either going to auction it, going to give it to somebody, or if I'm really in love with it, it's going to hang on my wall.
Right.
But that's something I've wanted to do for sure. Like you get a woodworker that makes a guitar out of a certain type of wood, and they've
Mm-hmm.
carved it, or they carved their kayak or their canoe or
Right.
something, and
Mm-hmm.
they put that. I want to do that same thing, but tie my love of music together with with the blacksmithing and that sort of stuff. And then I guess, I don't know, go sword fight somebody, so I get my love of stunt work and martial arts in there too, right?
No, that's
I think that would be cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. I can visual. I'm a super visual person, so everything that you're talking about, I can see it. So the whole time I'm seeing it, and so I mean, it just looks beautiful to me. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So this is a good question, and I think we're going to end with this one, and then I'll let you plug whatever you need to plug and do what you need to do. So when you are creating,
All right.
because I don't know if this is possible or not, because I don't know how loud it is. When you are creating, what music do you listen to other than mine?
Well, now 1,000% now I do listen to your music. Now down in my forge, because I told you we're out in the middle of the sticks.
Mhm.
If I'm up at the house, I kind of got a little bit of Wi-Fi. My forge is about 100, 200 feet away from the house.
Right.
Not really good Wi-Fi, so I gotta either take stuff that's downloaded on my phone or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'll download your podcast. I listen to that.
Right.
If it kind of depends on what I'm doing. If I'm hammering steel or something,
Mhm.
I'm listening to some good music. If I'm, like working at the grinder, shaping everything, I got my earbuds in, I'm listening
Right.
to a podcast.
Right.
Now,
Right.
if I'm listening to music, 1,000%, man, uh, my musical playlist
Mhm.
is a lot of, Pantera, a lot of Stuck Mojo,
Yeah.
another one
Yeah.
of my favorite bands. And I got to give a shout out to my brother, Neil Gilbert,
Mhm.
Southern Mental Illness. Way back when, I think they still play. If you ever need anybody to shred some guitar with you, there you go.
Southern Mental Illness.
God's gift of guitar. Southern Mental Illness, SMI.
All
So
right.
I got a bunch of that like loud and abusive stuff, like the soundtrack for violence.
Okay.
That's what I'd call it. And interwoven into that is music from Disney. I'm not even joking, man. We'll be Hakuna Matata, and then hell yeah, anything else.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind. I like to be a roller coaster, up and downs the whole time. Just I like to feel musically moved one way or another. And if you're always at 11, you're always up here, at the top, everything's loud and abusive and screaming and all this kind of stuff. You're here. There's no emotion. I like to be up and down. I like to hear some Lord Nelson. I like to hear, a little bit of everything, honestly, except country. I really can't buy into that. Anything else, though, I'm good.
You're in the country, man, and you don't want to listen to country music, man.
I think that's why, man. I think that's why I don't listen to country, because you go in any store and it's playing. You go to convenience store, they got it going. You go to the grocery store, you go to the hardware store, it's all around you. you know, and I don't have a cowboy hat or boots or nothing. Not that I
Yeah,
don't like the people doing the music. I just
right.
can't feel moved by it. You know, I need to have it touch my soul, right? I need to
So,
have it kind of draw me.
so it's kind of like working at McDonald's. You don't want to eat at McDonald's. You want to eat at Burger
No,
King.
no, no, no. Even if it's free, man, I'm walking across the street to Taco Bell. That's
Right,
just, that's
right,
how it's.
right.
Man, that's
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, listen, Adam, man. Listen, this has been amazing and fun, man. Definitely, man. Thank you so much for working around your schedule, and I know I had to
hey, hey,
cancel here and there, but man, thank you so much, man. This has been beautiful. So please, first of all, tell your beautiful wife that I said hello. She's doing amazing
oh
work.
man,
And listen, we will get together on that Lord Nelson special. I gotta have one. I'm telling you, I gotta have one. And now, me personally,
yes, sir.
I'm probably gonna put it up somewhere. You know, I want you to, sign or whatever. I'll probably put it in the case
Well,
and treasure it that way. And now if somebody tries to do something bad to
oh
me, I
sure.
might break it out and do something bad to them. Knowing
Oh
that
yeah, right.
yeah.
Well, hey, use it how you please.
So please plug all your information, anything that you want anybody to know or hear or see or watch or whatever like that, please do.
All right. So first of all, before we get to that, I want to thank you for taking my cash bribe and allowing me to be on your podcast. That was really sweet of you, man. That's very nice. So we are on pretty much all your Facebook, your Instagram is the Lavenders Forge. No apostrophes, no nothing. The Lavenders Forge. We're trying to do a little bit better about posting. I'm that guy. I'm generally so much in the moment. I forget to pull up my phone or my video or anything and take pictures or post any of that kind of. Trying to get better.
Right.
Always kind of been on me about that. But the Lavenders Forge. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. And honestly, if you're interested in any of our work, if you're interested in any of the knives or anything we make, we do some decorative blacksmithing too. But seems like every time I go to try to make something decorative, it ends up having a point and all this kind of stuff. I end up making a knife anyways. So definitely reach out to us. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. We haven't bothered putting up a website yet because honestly, when we list something, it generally disappears, and I'm not good at doing any of this website stuff. So that's the best ways to get us. You can get in touch with us in any shape, form, or fashion. There, we're still doing the movie stuff, still doing the stunt stuff. Like I said, not as much as before because the recovery time takes forever, and I'm getting a little bit older.
Right.
Got all kinds of stuff that's I guess a little more important than getting caught on fire or getting hit by a car or something like that. So, which we've done. I actually did a hand-to-hand firefight in front of probably about 200 people. It was live action. I'm on fire fighting a guy the whole time. So, I like a crazy life, but I'm beyond those days. I've settled down a little bit. So. But yeah, those are the best ways to get us, and just hit us up if you think we're great. Let us know if you think we're stuck and we can change. Let us know. we are all about creative criticism.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would behoove you to go out there and check out what they're doing. Truly beautiful pieces, and as he says, they are truly functional. Also, they're just not to put in a case. You can use them, and as you say, cut your onions, cut your steaks. We're not going to go who else you can cut, but we're just saying that they cut very well.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
as a matter of fact, they might cut a little too well. So
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Live and Loud with the Lord Nelson, of course, and this is our very, very special guest, and I'm honored to have him, Mr. Adam Lavender from the Lavenders Forge. Correct? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Yes,
we
sir.
really appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time, bro.
Hey, much love to you, brother. It doesn't need to be 14 years before we see each other
No,
again,
sir, man. No, sir. We're good. It's all love. All right, my brothers, be good.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
Peace.
the Lord has arrived on the board, free of charge, can't afford to miss it, we won't be ignored. No need for knocking, come on in, bring your family and your friends. Got you geeked and tuning in, YouTube watching or listening. Music is the major topic, enjoy audio erotic. When the merch arrives, no copy, help me monetize and profit. Mix the genres up like salads, rock to reggae, bass to ballads, hip hop, rap to country, clean to hardcore, all in between.